Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Dental Up Podcast, brought to you by Keating Dental Arts, a full-service, award-winning dental laboratory. Each week, you'll learn tips and techniques from real-world dentists, bringing you in-depth interviews, motivating stories, current events, and sports. Here's your host, Sean Keating.
Hey everyone, Sean here. Welcome to another episode of the Dental Up Podcast. Our guest this week is a graduate from the University of California, Riverside, and received her Doctor of Dental Surgery from the University of California, Los Angeles. Along with a private practice, she has been an instructor at the UCLA Dental School's Restorative Department. She has been providing life-enhancing dentistry for more than 30 years in the South Bay communities, practicing from El Segundo, California. Please welcome Dr. Sandra Calleros, DDS. How's it going, Dr. Calleros?
Going really good. Thanks for having me on your show.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's a typical Wednesday here at the office.
Oh, man. You're busy, man. You guys, you're crushing it for sure. And I know how busy you are, but thank you so much for coming on out and doing this with us. I know it's probably your lunchtime right now, but thank you again so much.
Yes, it is.
Now, I always like to start off a little bit about sports. I see you're UCLA. Are you a Bruin fan, or you don't like them Trojans, huh? I'm sure.
Well, of course I'm a Bruin fan.
I had a buddy of mine that played back in like 1981 at a high school. He went and played football over there. So his name was Lee Knowles, man. That guy's a monster. He middle linebacker, but yeah, it's kind of cool. But my brother went to dental school in UCLA at USC, so I always kind of been a Trojan fan. But hey, I love UCLA too, man. I love their uniforms. I love the powder blue and just the color of them. That's really
blue and gold.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I went to UC's for 8 years straight, UC Riverside, UCLA. So that's all I know.
No, that's so cool. Yeah, we have UC Irvine right here, and the Rams have been practicing there now. So it's kind of neat. We just drive down the street a couple blocks and right there, and we go watch the darn Rams right there practicing, man. And it's amazing that they're here. Yeah, especially I've been a Rams fan forever, and they're gone for 20 years, but now they come back, man, and it's like, oh, they're practicing right up the street, and so that's pretty neat, man. But yeah, we're excited. You guys got to be, because you're right out there by Los Angeles International Airport. I mean, you're right in the heart down there in LA, so you got to be pretty excited about the Lakers, too, coming up with LeBron. I mean, there's a lot of excitement out there, I'm sure.
Yeah, it'll be fun. We're actually going to a Dodger game. I'm taking my team this Friday. We're going to go see the Dodgers play the Padres on Friday night. So that'll be a fun little team outing for us.
Oh, good for you. You got to do that for your team like that, man. That's so cool.
You got to make time for fun.
Heck yeah. You little Dodger dog. Give me a Dodger dog and a jumbo beer, and I'll be happy.
Peanuts. Don't forget the peanuts.
Oh, I love the peanuts. And no, that's so cool, man. I just
we try to, you got to work in some fun and some team bonding. I think it's important.
Oh, absolutely.
Can't just be all about work.
No, it isn't, man. You got to find that balance for sure. And I think that's why you've been doing this. You've been 30 plus years in this now, huh? I mean,
Can't believe it's been that long.
Man, you sound like you're in 8th grade. I can't believe that.
Yeah, I think I need some voice training or something to make myself sound more.
That's cool. No, that is so cool. And I know, I remember back in the day too, you did a podcast with Dr. Howard Ferran, man. And how'd that go with you? He likes to talk a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah, that was I think it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It's fun. I was in Arizona at the time, so I went to his house and he had it all set up in his living room. His son was helping out, and
yeah, his son's
it was
great.
Cool. I think he did talk more than I did, but that's okay.
Yeah, he loves to talk, man. That guy, get him a microphone. No, he's always been that way, but he's a great guy. He's helped me so much from the beginning when I first started off on my own back in 2002. He's like a big brother, but I think I'm older than him by 2 weeks. I'm like August 18th, and I think he's August 28th or something like that. Or
I'm August 7th.
Oh, you're kidding. So we got some Leos here, baby.
Yeah, I just had a birthday last week.
Happy birthday. I just had one Saturday.
Well, happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Leos are the best.
Yeah, Leos, yeah, man, we're leaders. We're the rulers of the jungle, baby. That's what it is.
That's right.
Oh, I love it, man. That's so cool. Well, heck, man, let's dental up. So tell me, doctor, at what point did you think I want to be a dentist?
Well, honestly, dentistry wasn't my first choice of a career. What I really wanted to do is become a veterinarian. I love animals, and, that was what I wanted to do. So I think it was like in my junior year at UC Riverside, I kind of thought, maybe my chances aren't that great to get into veterinary school. Is very way more competitive than to get into dental school. I mean, I had pretty good grades, but they weren't, 4.0. It wasn't a 4.0. So I thought maybe I would try dentistry. And I had a good friend whose husband was at UCLA Dental School at the time. And he kind of got me interested in dentistry. And I just thought, I always wanted to provide health care, work with my hands, make my own schedule, and, be able to provide well for myself. My dad always stressed the importance of being able to be an independent woman, have my own career. And so that's kind of how I got started. I kind of switched gears my junior year in college at UC Riverside.
Okay. That's amazing I've never heard that, thinking about being a vet. I got a few friends that are vets, and pretty demanding job, but it's quite lucrative for sure. And, the people and their pets, man, they'll do anything for them. I know I got a couple of monster dogs, and I'm bringing them into these vets lately. They got ear infections all the time. They got allergies, and they can't breathe. And it's just like, gosh. And they call these dogs, like I got these little bulldogs, and they call them practice builders, because you're going to spend a ton of money on these dogs because they're just
and I bet you never, ever ask your veterinarian if your insurance covers that.
No, I don't. And,
they say how much, and you say,
yep,
okay.
Here you go.
I bet you never say, does insurance cover that?
No, exactly. Except my brother, actually, I guess you can buy insurance, and it does help out quite a bit if you got a dog that needs a lot of high maintenance. But I think it does help somewhat. But now, and I know in dentistry, you guys are always getting, hey, does this cover with just my insurance? On and on, and same thing. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to pets, I mean, it's just it's a whole different thing. It's like we love those pets more than our own children. Sometimes.
Maybe I should have tried to become a vet.
Oh, heck no, man. You're rocking and rolling it, man. You know that. Well, so
I love dentistry. I think veterinary medicine would have been okay, though.
Yeah, it's a pretty neat thing. It's weird though. Like I have a buddy that he was a vet like in the Midwest and stuff, and like rural areas and stuff. And it's so different there, where if they have a problem with, they bring their dog in, if they have to bring it into a vet or something, and they have a viral infection or something, and something's that issue, and it's like $200, they say, put them down. They don't mess around out there. It's a dog. Yeah, it is sad. It's like, oh, I gotta. I just think, how can they do that? Like, I can't even handle, like I get on when I get the TV, that SPCA or at Facebook, I'll see some stuff like on the Dodo or whatever it is. And it's just sad stuff with dogs. And when they do the neglect of them or any animals, I can't handle that. It just really breaks my heart. And I got to switch over from that stuff because, it's like a human. You can't treat animals like you can't treat people like that. I hate that, but big time. But when you see the animals too, it's just like, how do these people do what they do? And it just breaks my heart. But yeah, I'm a softie when it comes to
this. Is getting depressing now.
Okay, let's not talk about it. Enough of this. We can cut this out too, man. I can edit no. It's just that's pretty cool. But no, I hear you. But so tell me on your college journey. Tell me a little bit about UC Riverside and what it, junior, senior kind of, but tell me a little bit about that. Then tell me about, at UCLA about your likes and what you liked and what you didn't like about dental school and your journey through it.
Let's see. So, UC Riverside was pretty academic. I guess it probably still is. I don't know. I haven't been on the campus in a long time. I heard it's grown a lot.
Okay.
but it wasn't considered like a party school, so got a lot, which was a good thing. So I was a biology major. So then I just applied to all the dental schools. There were 5 in California.
Okay.
I don't know if there's 6 now, but 5 back then. I applied to all of them, and I was accepted to all of them. So I almost went to Loma Linda Dental School.
Okay.
I'm out from the Inland Empire. That's where I grew up.
Okay.
I thought I'd stay close to home, and but then it was just too expensive for me. It's a private school.
Yeah.
UCLA was cheaper, so I thought I'm just going to go to UCLA. That's where my friend's going. So I made the move to LA, which is kind of scary for a girl who grew up in San Bernardino.
Yeah, Big Bear, man. I love going through San Bernardino, man. It just, you knew when you got to the bottom of that mountain, man, you're an hour away from the snow. That's crazy.
Yeah, but San Bernardino, it's anyway. I won't say anything about it. Yeah. But so dental school was tough. Of course, everybody knows that who's been through it. I think the class was maybe 30% women. So the women were definitely in the minority.
Okay.
And, the dentistry that was taught was, a lot of amalgams, gold, a lot of gold work.
That's good.
Probably not as much as the USC people, but
yeah.
It was just a lot different than what we're doing today. It's a lot different. There was nothing about sleep dentistry, sleep apnea. We weren't doing very many composites. Pretty rare to do all porcelain crown, maybe just for an anterior tooth. Mm-hmm. Mostly PFMs. So dentistry's changed a heck of a lot since I graduated. That was in 1987.
Beautiful. That's
when I graduated, way back when.
Man, I had my second child in 87, man.
Wow.
That's crazy. But no Ed McLaren back then, probably, huh? I think he came in the 90s or something, or maybe in the 2000s.
No.
Ed McLaren. He's a stud. He's a great dentist, but he's also just a really great ceramist. He really got into the lab end. But now that's cool. It's such a trip how the UC, University of California, system. How much UCLA, USC? I mean, one's $150,000 a year, and one's probably 20 or 30. I mean, it's such a different money grab. How that works. You get same degree, but one you got to pay. Why is it's just so expensive? At the regular universities. I don't know how. Like I told my boys, man, because we didn't have money or nothing. I said, one way you're going to college, you get a scholarship because I ain't paid. Yeah. I don't have it, and it's tough.
Yeah, it's a lot more expensive now, and UCLA was a lot less than USC, and it's in a nicer area, so that's why I chose UCLA.
Oh, I know. You go a block off the USC campus, man. You better be packing because it's a tough neighborhood, man. You don't want to mess around there. I remember trying to park our cars, man, out there, and dude, you just because you didn't want to pay the $20 that was close to but you go on the outskirts. Oh man, that's scary times. But that's it.
Yeah, and Westwood is fun, or at least it was back then.
Oh, it still is.
A lot of fun in Westwood.
Oh, it's great. It's just it's a neat place, and it's harder the heck to get in there because it's such a value even to this day. The whole UC program. I mean, it's just it's so much cheaper, and it's just and it's beautiful out there. I mean, you're right there in the heart of all the fun and sun, and it's all the fun people and all that stuff at nighttime. It's good times, but well, that's cool. So tell me about now, did you start out as an associate when you got out of dental school, or did you purchase a practice? Tell me a little bit about that.
So when I graduated, I didn't know any dentists personally that I could work for. So I started out as an employee of a few HMO clinics because I just couldn't find anything else. And then, I just decided right away that was not the way that I wanted to practice.
Okay.
I didn't go to school to work in those, in that kind of environment. So I was living in Manhattan Beach when I graduated.
Yeah.
And back then we had the yellow pages.
Yep. There
was no internet. So
and a Thomas guidebook to remember the Thomas guide, where if you had to find directions, you have to go A to X, and find a spot. So. I know that because I used to clean carpets out of high school for Sears carpet cleaning, man. We used to go into L.A. We lived in Orange County, Huntington Beach, and I used to go into L.A. and I was real smart with that book, man, how to get into all these neighborhoods and do their carpets, baby. And I used to sell the Teflon, man. Hey, do you want to seal the carpet after I'm done with Teflon? We used to put water in that thing. And, oh, gosh. Okay.
No stain resistant.
Yeah, because they measured it when you got back. Oh, good times. Sears carpet cleaning.
Good work, right?
Oh, man. Hey. Taught me a work ethic, had to get up early, and I drove a big old van and had a partner in there I was like the senior manager and he was my little sidekick. And I remember one time we had this lady, she was going to have a baby and we had to rush her to the hospital. And she was a doctor and she was like 2 or 3 months early. And she was so scared. And we said, we'll take you, man, right now, because she's going to call an ambulance. I said, we'll get you there. And we drove this lady through all this traffic, went through the inside lane illegally all the way down to her hospital. I forgot where it was, out in Long Beach somewhere. And she had called in, emergency people came out and rushed her in, and they just said, all right, thank you. And a couple weeks later, we got the thing at the Sears, and she sent them pictures and just wanted to thank us. And she wrote a check for like $100 to give to us, and she sent the pictures. Aww. And she had a 1.5 pound baby. And
oh my God.
Yeah, it was so small. And yeah, it was like a premature by 3 months. And it was so small. And I remember about 6 months later, they sent some more pictures and the baby's doing good and stuff. But me and my buddy Adam, man, we saved that little baby because they were going to lose it. And it had to stay in intensive care for like about a month or two or something. It was just so small. But I did that, man. I kind of forgot about that till right now. Just opens up my mind, start talking about Sears carpet cleaning.
Oh my God.
Okay, let's get back to dentistry. Enough Sean and his little adventures. So tell me, okay, so.
Well, I want to hear how you got from that in the dental lab.
Well, then,
I want to hear your story.
Yeah, my brother was a dentist going to dental school, and I always knew from like 8th grade he was making me my mouthpieces in football. So he was going to dental school at USC, and he was interning in Bellflower, helping his Dr. Bellflower, Dr. Myers and Krupa, I remember. So I'd go there and help in the summers, but always in the back of my head, I kind of knew I was going to be a dental tech. But right out of high school, I did construction, I did steel work, I did the carpet cleaning. And then about 20 years old, my mom came in and woke me up out of bed at like 11 in the morning, it's in between jobs or something. She goes, Sean, look at it. And in the newspaper, in our Huntington Beach local newspaper, it said, there's a new trade school opening up called Huntington College of Dental Technology. And it was like freaking ordained, or what's it called? Divine intervention, man. It's like, I always was going to be a dental tech. Remember that, Mom? She goes, I know. You get up in there and you apply for this. So applied for it, and we qualified because my mom, single mom, 5 kids, we didn't make any money. And I remember it was $6,000 for the course when Reagan was our president, and he had this program that paid for the whole thing, but I needed $350 for all the books and all the materials, and I didn't have that. And I remember he had to borrow it from somebody, my stepfather at the time, or they were divorced from my mom. My second dad was, so long story short, he lent the money, went in, did a 6-month course, and at the end of the course, they're like, Sean, I don't know about you, man. You're not really that good. They go, you might want to think about going into dentures. And I'm like, no, man, my brother's a freaking dentist, dude, and I'm going to work for him. And yeah, I said, okay. And they stamped that certificate, and I went and started working at Glidewell Laboratories. It was called Orange Dental Ceramics at the time, but God, as a trip, man. Yeah, I did. I was there. We only had 40, 50 people in that place back then, and yeah, Jim Glidewell interviewed me and everything, and said, "Get out on that floor." And I was a waxer, a metal finisher, and sure enough. And then my brother, about 6 months later, he calls me up and he feels all sad. He goes, "Sean, I'm really sorry, but you can't work for me because, I'm going to be doing a 2-year residency in endo, and I'm going to do endodontics for and I said, well, I'll do your post. And he goes, oh, no, I don't need you, man. He's like, you're on your own. It's like, brother, I did this to come work for you. So left me high and dry. But now look at Shawnee boy, baby. You know, when I leave, I got 100 people working for me. And my brother leaves, he don't make no money because, you know, he's the money maker. So he always tells me, Sean, I think you did better because, you know, you got a great, you know, company. You really love your people. You guys do great work. And the whole thing, it's true. When I leave, everything keeps going, you know, the people and everyone's here. And, you know, when he leaves, you know, his staff, you know, just like you, when you leave, if the bird's not turning, you're not, you know, cutting crowns or, you know, I'm sure you got hygiene you could do and stuff like that. But I'm pretty blessed to have the setup the way it is. And, you know, from making $4 and I remember making $90 a week, man. And I had our son, who I'm looking across from him right now on this podcast. He was just a baby, man, 3 months old and starting. And my wife was waitressing. We couldn't afford the child care because, you know, what she made and what I made, it would cost our salary almost to pay for the child care. So she worked nights, I worked days. I'd go and get home by 4, and then she'd go 5 to 10, work waitressing, and we lived off her tips, and my money helped pay the $500 rent for our little apartment. And heck, I got an electricity bill more than that now. So it's like kind of crazy how it all works out. But yeah, kind of.
So are you taking care of your mom now?
You know, my mom passed when she was like 57. Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Wow,
yeah.
young.
And I'm going to be 57. I just turned 56. It's kind of weird. And then my wife's mother died at like 57 also. I was like, ruh-roh.
That's my age.
Oh, shit.
That's my age.
Oh, man. Oh, you sure don't look 57. You look awful young. And I aged. I got silver hair in my 30s, you know, just doing teeth, man. There's a lot of moving parts and there's a lot of things that make it happen. But Keating's all my brothers we were gray. Like my brother Kevin, the dentist, he was gray in his 20s. And, you know, I can see it on my boys too. They can get it on their sides, but it's wisdom, right? You know, that's why I look at it. I look like a silver, long-haired, like I don't know.
Clairol's my best friend.
Come again?
Clairol.
Oh, yeah. I used to do that back. And when I first started the lab, I remember I got on the cover of Dental Town. And I remember when I first started in 2002, I went and had my hair dyed all dark, you know, so I get my gray out, and I did my goatee because I had like silver going through my goatee. So I did it all. I look at this picture of me, man, kind of like Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's kind of got like an orangish tint to it. You know, like, dude, what was I thinking? God. And after about 3 or 4 years, it was like, I'm not doing that. And my wife didn't like me doing it. And it was all just vanity and stuff thinking, and I never liked it when I would do ads for our ads and I'd have a picture of me and then they'd see me, you know, in real life. And then I had my hair gray and they're like, you don't look like this. So I got rid of all going forward. I just, you know, hey, this is the way I look. This is the way it is. And a lot of guys like speakers and all this, they use their old pictures and it's like, dude, man, you don't look nothing like that. Why would you keep using that picture? Because no one can recognize you. So I keep it real. This is what I am.
No fun getting old. No fun.
Yeah. So anyway, and I've been married 35 years, so it's like my wife likes me the way I am. I don't have to try to look young or whatever. And so I don't know. It's all good. But all right, let's get back to dental and dental up now. So what about, tell me on with your when you started working.
That's a good story though. You have a great story.
We'll have to do an animated thing on that little segment maybe. I need
to come visit your lab one day too.
Oh, you should. I have a doctor. I did a podcast several months back, Dr. Deanna Thomas. She's up in Western Pennsylvania. She came in on, I think, Saturday. So she's here with her 14-year-old son. She's in the lab right now, and she's a big digital lady, and she's got a 3 shape, and she's been with me for years. But she came down, and she actually was just her and her son, and she went out on my boat on Monday, and because they love to fish. And I said, fuck, I got a big old fishing boat. Get on out there.
Where's your boat?
It's in Dana Point. So, yeah.
So that's where my dad used to go fishing from.
Oh, you're kidding. Well, they went out. They went
love
out,
it.
we love it. Yeah, because it's instantly you're out in the water, deep water, real quick. Like Newport and some of the other ones take you 45 minutes just to get out of the harbor. Where us, boom, you're out because it's a real small harbor. But they went out for 14 hours and they got skunked. And it's like I haven't been on my boat for 14 hours. I get seasick. I don't even know why. I got a boat because my boys like to fish, and it's a big boat too. But it's just bigger boat is bigger swells and bigger wakes. But I'm good for a few hours and here and there, but so they went out 14 hours and they just had the best time of their life. But they're trying to go for big tunas, and I'm like, dude, you should have just took them over to the kelps and got some little sand bass or little calicos. But so they did it. They loved it. My cat and the crew, they're all like, these are the nicest people, Sean. We got to take them out again. So they're still here all this week, and they're at the lab now, just kind of going through some stuff and. She's going to go this Friday in a couple of days. She's going to go with her son again. I said, yeah, you're definitely welcome to go. And so they're going to go out again and just, cause my cat was the week before we just won this big fishing tournament. It was out of Catalina and stuff. And, we got two of the biggest tuna. We got a 208 pounder that won the whole tournament. And then we got a 92 pounder. So we got a 92 and a 208 and we got them all on the scale and pictures. So a week later, they take out my doctor from Pennsylvania and her son. They can't get one fish, and they're just like, what? And they beat all these big teams. And it's just like, dude, why are you going for the home run? You just got to get the little fish for them to, even get that little Slinky Joe thing where you go down and catch your bait. I love that. There's like 10 hooks. You put it down and all these little, mackerel, holy mackerel. I love doing that. Just, but, yeah, the big fish they take for a long time to catch them, and then reeling them in it beat you up. But this is a tough lady, Dr. Thomas, man. She loves to get out there and fish, and she's on that boat for 14 hours, and she wants to go out and do it again. It's like, heck yeah, girl. You go out there and
wow.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Just a grown up doing that.
Yeah, she did. And she's do it like they have lakes and stuff. Never did really deep sea fishing, but they're just amazed. And they seen whales and they seen dolphins and all this stuff, and they thought how great that was. And I'm like, that's pretty neat, but it's nicer to catch a, bluefin or even yellowtail, or it's like a grab bag, whenever that fish bites on it, that line, and you reel it in. A lot of people that don't fish a lot, you don't know what it is. And it's just like, it's such a neat surprise when it comes out. It's like, freaking, what is that? And that's a freaking, I don't even know the different names of the fish. I can't even bait the hook, and I've had a boat for 15 years, but it's fun. We love it. And, me and my wife go out there and just sit on the back, and right where it's at, there's a boat launch area. So we see the guys backing out their boats, and it's just so funny. The husbands and wives, and they're yelling, and them backing it out wrong, and like letting the boat and the whole car go into the water. And we sit there with a beer.
I know exactly what you're talking about, because we used to have a boat at Lake Havasu.
Oh, yes. There's
one site called Site 6 where all the public drunken boaters people just line up on either side with their popcorn, and they sit in their chair, and they clap and they hoot and they yell, and they just make fun of all these people trying to back their boats up.
That's exactly what we do here. And they even have people with their lawn chairs that get up there and watch it, because it's just regular people with their boat that they got, and they know not what they do, but it's funny as hell. And then
it's pretty funny.
Yeah, pretty cool. All righty. Let's tell some more fish stories. No.
So you have to invite me to go out on your boat.
Oh, anytime, man. You're welcome, man. The work you send us, heck yeah, you can get on that anytime, baby. It needs to be used, and you know,
up on that.
Yeah, it's anytime. It's always open. But okay, so tell me about. Okay, so you associated a little bit, and you probably got some good experience in the mill type places, just freaking in the trenches. But a little bit.
It was terrible. Yeah. Terrible. I just didn't like it at all. So I didn't like it. So I got out the yellow pages, and I just literally called every dentist in the South Bay. If they didn't return my call, I'd call them again, and then finally one of them granted me an interview, and so I started out doing hygiene all day, and then I slowly started to get my own patients. That was in Manhattan Beach.
Okay.
But I didn't really build my own office until I was 50, 7.5 years ago.
Okay.
So, I had 2 kids, I was married, and so I was lucky enough to be able to work part-time while they were young. I think it's a reason like I've been able to last this long is that I wasn't working full-time my whole career.
Yeah.
So,
that's awesome. Now I started mine at 40, but starting yours at 50, and you guys are doing really good. So tell me a little bit about your practice now. How many ops you got, and tell me what kind of schedule you're working.
So found a space that actually used to be a tanning salon.
Yeah.
And it was called Bronze Buns.
That's a good one.
Kind of smelled like coconut oil in here.
There you go.
So gutted the place. I worked with Patterson Dental, and I have about 1,400 square feet. So It's not that big. I started out with 4 operatories, and then within a year, I needed another one. So I remodeled my staff lounge. So that's now my 5th room, and it's a hygiene room. It's pretty small. So we have five operatories, and then I bought a CEREC about 5 months after I opened.
Okay.
Thought I was going to have to wait about a year, but so I got that about 5 months later. And then a few years ago, I bought a CBCT.
Yeah.
And I did some implant training, so I got that, which I love too. And so my office is really nice. It's really pretty. It has a really nice vibe. It's sandwiched in between a couple restaurants, so we get a lot of people walking by.
Yeah, what kind of restaurants? I like to eat.
One's Greek and one is American.
Beautiful. Give me
really busy. It's a really busy street. So another reason I waited so long is being at the beach. The real estate
so
is
ridiculous.
Limited as far as a spot to build a medical. You got to have the right parking, and I wanted to be on the ground floor, so I didn't want to be like on a 5th story of some building hidden away. I wanted to be right there on the street. So I think things just happen when you're ready for them to happen, and so
that's true. It's all in God's time, right? It's something you can't push it, you can't rush it. It's going to happen when it's going to happen, and I just think it's good. What you're doing, you're cranking it out. Now, tell me a little bit about on some of your. You're saying you did some of your. You got a cone beam, everything else. I mean, you're doing sinking your own implants. That's pretty brave, man. Who'd you see to help you to do that, and where'd you get the confidence and experience on that?
I took Arun Garg's courses, and so we ended up. You do like 4 weekends, 2 days per weekend of academic, and then he has a clinic in the Dominican Republic. So you fly there and you just place, tons of implants. It's pretty intense. You're working like 12 hours a day, seeing tons of patients. Really tiring, but he gives a really good training. So I did that training with him. And then I got my 3D, my X-ray machine shortly after that. And I don't place tons of implants. I'm really picky, pick really straightforward ones. And I refer out the difficult ones.
Good. Yeah. That's why you should do it. You're doing, what else do you like to do or don't like to do? You do an endo, or do you try to keep everything in-house that you can, or you just kind of evaluate it when it seems a bit much, you shoot it out? Tell me about that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'd have to say that restorative dentistry really is my favorite dentistry. I love my CEREC machine. I just love having the immediate results, having that crown done and having total control over, how it looks and how it fits. And, I also have fun using composites for aesthetics. So, but I get a lot of satisfaction when I see, somebody comes in for recall and I see a restored implant that I placed myself, and I fabricated the crown by myself. I made the abutment by myself, and it looks great and it fits great. And
that's awesome. That's so good. I mean, it really is. As far
as, outsourcing, I mean, I don't do upper molar endos. I don't do sinus lifts. Good. I don't do gum grafting. I refer out difficult extractions. or anything the patient might want to be sedated for. I don't do sedation. I don't try to do every single, aspect of dentistry. I do a lot of different things, but I know my limits.
That's why you sleep at night, and that's what I think some guys step in too much into a hole when they try to do things that you probably should be referring out. I mean, maybe they're slow and they're trying to do good, but I don't know. I think it's a slippery slope when you start doing things that you're not 100%, confident. And it's just, I see the guys that do it like you, where they do what they do best, and they know when to say no, and like they refer it out, and it's okay to refer it out. And I know sometimes patients, oh, can you do it? And I don't know. It's just, you kind of end up marrying that patient if you start doing things that you shouldn't be doing, and it's going to start costing you. And I don't know. I just think when I hear doctors like you talking like that, I hear that a lot from guys that have been doing it a long time, and they know when to say when. I think it's important.
Yeah, I think, I try to treat my patients as if they're my family members. Perfect. And, and I do want to sleep at night, and I want to feel good about what I do. I want to be confident with what I do, but I'm also not afraid to take courses and try new things and learn new things.
Awesome. That's so cool. Now, what about any dental conventions or gatherings you like to go to more than others?
I was a CEREC mentor for a number of years, so I do attend most of the big Dent Supply Sorona annual events.
Okay.
They used to be just in Vegas. Now they're alternating with Florida. So I usually go when they're in Vegas. But most of the time I'm with groups of dentists at my CE courses that I take.
Okay. So you know Samir Puri probably a little bit?
I know Sam.
SoCal. He used to be SoCal.
Sam.
That's awesome. Now
and you know him too?
Oh, yeah. I've had him and T-Bone here at my lab, and we have a full operatory here at the laboratory, and we do implant case, we do full makeovers, and they were one of my first guys that we did full upper on a patient, 4 to 13. And we did it on a Friday, and we had about 15 doctors in watching it over the shoulder. And we went off to the lab that night, and everyone came back the next day, and we seated everything, and it was just freaking amazing. And they're good. They're great guys. And Samir is just he's a very humble guy. He's a very humble guy, but he's just very talented. I've worked with a lot of dentists, and T-Bone's a great dentist too, but Samir is really special when it comes to hand skills, and just, I know he's on to the CEREC, but that dude can cut preps and just really treatment plan and diagnose. And he's kind of a younger dude. He's getting up there now a little bit, but now he's got some special gifts for sure. And I think that's why he's out there at Scottsdale with Spear doing what he does. And I remember at the beginning always kind of fighting it with the CEREC guys, but they've turned out to be some of my best dentists, that sure, they're doing their onesies and twosies, and I understand it and I see that, and there's definitely a place in dentistry for it, but they're still doing a lot of other cases, implant cases, veneer cases, partial denture cases. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of cool. It's not like you lose them completely. Sometimes you do, but more so than not, we're still
always going to need our labs.
I think so.
No doubt about it.
I think so. We can make you look good or make you look bad. That's for sure. We try to make you look good. And so it's just something, I used to think a certain way with that back in the day, but now it's kind of a gift for us when we get them, because they see the margin so much clearer. And my biggest thing is, marginal integrity. If I can't see that in margin, I don't have fit. And if I don't have fit, I can't get function, and then I can't get aesthetic. So fit is first and foremost. And, the guys that are doing, the scanners for impressions and stuff like that, and the early adopters with the CEREC guys, man, they just see it, and the system can't go on to the next level if they can't read that margin. So it's doing a lot of my, not babysitting, but a lot of my, where we have to just check everything so closely when we pour an impression, this and that, and then we have to let them know what it's like. It's like, the grab bagging in, they see it they look at it real quick, but you can't really tell till you pour it up and pull it from that impression that, hey, this tissue's flapped all the way over the mesial distal of this, and it's just up halfway up the wall of the stone die now, and it's like I can't peel it away. I can't see the margin where.
Right.
On a digital scan, you'll be able to say, you know what, this ain't reading. And now it just makes them practice better because it's so much more high mag. And now It's just like they're really, and it takes a few months, some guys longer than others, but what a godsend.
Definitely a big learning curve in it. I think it does make you a better dentist because you are really looking at your work in high magnification. And the awesome thing is if you don't see it, you can just fix it right away. You're not waiting for a model.
Exactly. I can also, too, where something goes awry with the case, we can come back and redesign it. Hey, it's Sean. You missed that shoulder on this distal. Well, I thought it was, or a shoulder beveled or whatever. We can go in and adjust it accordingly, just mill it and send it back it's just amazing the stuff we can do. And especially now with all the Modellist stuff we're doing, and it's freaking accurate. It's just, it's exciting. I mean, it's
really accurate.
It really is. And it's just so neat. Well, tell me, I know we got to get going here. We talk a little bit too much about my dumb stories, but
your stories are fun.
Oh, Lordy help us. But tell me about your marketing strategy. I mean, do you do mailers? Tell me, do you do some social media, working with the public sector? Tell me a little bit how you driving people to your practice, if you could.
Most of my marketing is internal marketing, meaning that we try our best to be good listeners and communicators with our patients. And it sounds simple, but we do our best to do high quality care and treat our patients like I was saying, like family. And, we're not afraid to ask them for referrals. That works. People are always happy to send their family and their coworkers in if they're happy with you. So we ask for referrals.
Beautiful.
We're pretty active on Facebook. Probably could do a better job of that. Kind of go in spurts and waves where we're pretty active and then it just kind of falls off for a while. So we could probably do a little more than what we're doing now. We're pretty supportive of our community. We support the Little League teams. We do charity events. We, we'll do like the El Segundo Ed Foundation 5K run, and we'll have our little booth up. And so we do community events a lot. I've never really been one to do mailers. I heard they work. Maybe I should try it, but I've never really done too much of that.
Okay. I see you worked with Maria Shriver a little bit over at the Modern House Call for Women in Long Beach.
Yeah, we did that a few years ago. It's something we should look at doing again.
Yeah, I do. She has I think her brother. It's called Best Buddies, and it's kind of a bicycling group, and they raise money for different handicapped people and stuff. We've been working with them for years, and my stepfather's really big with them, and it's called Best Buddies. But yeah, the Shrivers, they really they're trying to help the world out there. They're really good people for sure. They got big hearts and helping people like they do.
Yeah, I think it's important.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely. It's better to give than to receive, man. And that's really neat. So tell me, what kind of advice can you give we have a bunch of newer dentists here that are really kind of starting off, and any advice, do's and don'ts, just whatever you can give out there would greatly help us.
Number one, I would say take the best continuing education that you can afford. I know it's expensive for the good courses, but try to pick some really good courses. Like I love the Spear courses in Scottsdale. Yes. I went there. I've been there a ton.
That's awesome.
And so just take the best continuing education you can afford. Take courses you can apply, right away. And, because you're not done with your education just because you have your degree, your DDS degree. You're never done with your education. I love podcasts. I've listened to tons of podcasts. I still do in my car. I'd rather listen to a podcast than, the radio.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Read good books. I would say learn about airway and sleep apnea because that's growing and it's A lot of undiagnosed people out there that need our help, and dentistry can play a big role in that. Dentists. And I would also say work on the fluffy stuff, which you may not think is important, but will get you pretty far in your dentistry or any business. Communication, listening. There's a course I just took. I'm taking still, motivational interviewing, teaching you how to listen and communicate with patients. And meditation is important. I meditate every day. Keeps your mind calm.
You got that?
I have a lot of advice. I can go on and on.
We're gonna have to get you lecturing out here. You'd be a good lecturer for us, man.
I have a lot of advice, so I can keep going if you want me to.
Oh, that's awesome. On your meditation, where'd you learn? I'm just starting to get into that. I got a app called Calm. CALM, and it's pretty neat. They got, bedtime stories. They got meditation in the morning. Yeah, sleep stories. It's great, man.
Well, I use an app called Insight. INSIGHT, and it has guided meditation. It has music. It has talks. If you just want to hear talks, it's really good. I heard about yours too, though.
Yeah, it's neat. It's got master classes. They can talk about, everything from depression to eating to just motivation. And it's kind of neat. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just last year or so with me too. I mean, we're driving farther. We moved out. We used to live in Irvine for 20 some odd years. Now we live down Dana Point. So it's about a 40-mile or 40-minute trip each way. So I'm listening to podcasts and listening to a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But I used to listen to the radio, jamming it, or Howard Stern. I got rid of that stuff, man. I'm just listening to stuff that pumps me up, motivates me, makes me, think a little bit. And it's just kind of neat, man. It's really neat. It's a ton of information out there, and it can really help you in different areas for sure. And I love some of the dental podcasts out there, and I kind of cringe when I listen to mine. It's like, dude, what the frick am I thinking? Come on, Sean. But that is what it is. We're not, some infomercial here. We're not selling you anything. We talk a little bit about my lab, but, you talk the talk, you got to walk the walk, and, we walk it every day. I think I have the best lab in the nation, but that's just me. But we got great people.
Yeah, great lab.
Oh, thank you.
Let me say some other things because I feel like this, podcast maybe is more for the newer, because I don't think the old guys are going to want to listen. But for the newer dentists, I would say use an Optigate and an IsoDry. If I had that my whole career, it would have made life so much easier for me at work.
So what is that for me? Is a IsoDry? It's like a
the Optigate, OPTRAGATE. That's the one that retracts the lips.
Okay.
Okay, I even use that like for surgeries, implant placements, just get the lips out of the way.
Yep.
And then the IsoDry is the mouthpiece that it's like a bite block with a little shield, so it protects the tongue, the cheek, and the airway. And it's a bite block, and it just keeps everything retracted, and then it also suctions at the same time.
No kidding. That's kind of like the Isolite that Dr. Hirsch. Yeah, I had Tom Hirsch on a.
Same thing. So you put the Optigate and the IsoDry in, and you can work without an assistant if you didn't have an assistant. So
yeah, that is so neat.
I would definitely that is
it's
helps
amazing.
So much. Okay, and then find a mentor you can get advice from. Hang out with other dentists who are passionate about dentistry, not the ones who haven't taken a course in 10 years.
Exactly.
So important to hang out with people who love dentistry, and you can find a mentor. That'd be awesome, or two mentors. Treat patients like they're your family members, and don't give in to pressure to produce for the sake of making the numbers. Stick with, try to do your best, and don't give in to the pressure to practice sloppy or too fast. You're going to be slow at first, but that's okay. You're going to get faster. Yeah. It just takes time. And stay true to yourself and have gratitude each and every day. And be humble, admit when you're wrong, and work on your leadership skills, because you're going to need to be a leader. Treat your team nicely, because you need them.
Yes.
get a coach if you can afford it. And I'm not talking about a tennis coach. I'm talking about like a life coach. I have one. I talk to her every week.
Oh, beautiful.
She's awesome. And then you got to have fun at work. You got to have fun at home. Life is too short not to.
Absolutely.
So make time for fun.
Dr. C, that's the best, man. I love it.
That's my advice for the new doctors.
Hey, that's advice for the old doctors too, man. Kind of get into that. Listen to that. No, that is so cool, man. And it's great talking to you. And it's a great podcast. And I just can't thank you enough for your time, man. And get your butt on down here for sure. You're just up the road, man. Come on down and
see you. And come go fishing with you.
Yeah, absolutely. You go fishing with my crew. No, unless the fish are running really good, I'm not going out, man. But no, I definitely go out. And
my dad's birthday is November 6th, and he just passed away. So. And I wasn't really like a big fisherman, but a lot of my siblings were. And so on his birthday, I want to go out to sea and spread his ashes. That's why I really like that was awesome. You said Dana Point. That's where he loved to go out.
Oh, well, hey, you can use my boat. We spread my boat.
November 6th, I want to go out there and just put some ashes out.
November 6th, it's booked. You just let me know a little bit, Ed. You got it. I know October 6th, I'll be on the beach with Sammy Hagar and all the guys in Huntington Beach. November 6th is a Tuesday. So, yeah, no worries, man. I'll have my crew ready for you. And you got to go like
How many people fit on that boat?
20 or 30, but it's about 20 feet wide, 60 feet long. But now, I mean,
wow.
Yeah, it'll fit probably the people you need to be on it. So no worries.
I have 5 brothers and sisters.
Beautiful. I got it. We got 4 boys and 2 girls in my family too. It's kind of
me too.
Yeah, the big old.
What number are you?
I'm the youngest of the 4th. I'm the 4th. Of the 4 boys, I'm the youngest, and then there's 2 younger sisters than me. So.
I'm the 4th kid.
Can you believe that? See, we're
4 brothers and 2 girls, just like you.
Yeah, what a trip, man. Good Lord.
You guys all get along?
You just entered the Twilight Zone. No. That's a trip, but no, man.
You guys all get along?
Oh, yeah. We're all family. Hey, family. You got families first, man. You got to love your family. And yeah, my one brother's out in North Carolina, Greensboro. And then all the rest of the family's right here in Orange County where we all grew up. So, yeah, what a trip. That's amazing. But no, we'll take care of your pops and get out here and, come out here and see your Ceramus and all that stuff. You're so close. I mean, you're 20, 25 minutes, man, just down the road. Now you're probably about 45 minutes, but if you drive fast now. But hey, thank you so much. And I can't thank you enough. And if there's anything at all.
Yeah, that was fun. And if anybody any young dentists want to contact me, you can give them my number, my email,
Beautiful.
my Facebook,
we'll put
my address, whatever you want to give them. I'm available.
That's so cool. We'll put it up on the website for sure. I mean, on the podcast, we'll get our info written in there, and so that's so cool, man. Okay. Awesome job, and great talking to you.
To help out.
Thanks again, and we'll talk to you real soon.
Okay, thanks. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on the Dental Up Podcast Show this week. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or search the Dental Up Podcast on iTunes for our weekly feed. Don't forget to visit KeatingDentalArts.com/promo for exclusive offers. Keating Dental Arts is a full-service dental laboratory, and we're nationwide. We'd love for you to send us a case so we can show you the Keating difference. If you dig what you heard, please leave a review on iTunes, and we'll be back next week.